boy, y'all ready? Y'all ready? It's week one. It is time. It is the Q&A. Welcome to RGR Football. We're going to get into it all because now it starts. There's lots of questions. This show is for you, but I know some of the stuff you're going to ask. I'm pretty certain. I hope you had a great holiday. We're going to get into it tonight here on RGR Football. Welcome back, everybody. Spard said, hey, what's up? Hey, rogues. Lots and lots and lots and lots. Thank you all for checking out my video yesterday. I was on location. Always fun when I do those. So if you want to go back, I'll put a playlist together if anybody wants to see the old ones from when I was on Caribbean or wherever the heck I was, some of those places. So good to see you. Hope you had a great Labor Day weekend. It's back. It's football time. So we're going to get into it.
Let's go.
This is Dan Harms. If you don't know us, and you certainly don't know Dan, you need to watch his film reviews because he's kicking the snot out of them right now. And we have a ton coming. Who's going to be on with you this week?
I got a good friend of mine, Damon Parson. You guys, if you don't know him on Twitter, he's one of my really good friends. He's an Arizona Cardinal fan. He's going to help break down what's going on their side this week. So we get the game plan from Ryan and myself for the Chiefs side, and we'll get me and Damon for the Cardinal side. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of content coming. If you guys haven't heard the announcement, we're going to have a special piece late in the week, probably on either Thursday afternoon or Friday afternoon. Jason Dunn and Marcus Dash are going to come on and do their Chiefs concerns, do a short episode for us here on RGR. So I want you guys to get ready for that. This is going to be a lot of content this season. Now, I know there's a lot of hype. I know there's a lot of folks wanting to do hype videos and break stuff down. We're going to give you X's and O's like we always do. We're going to give you real opinion that we always do from those of us who have stood on the sidelines and tried to get things done. So just remember, that's where we're coming from. If folks want me to be a comedian, I'm not that funny. So it's just got to be what it is, you know? So with that said, if you want to support the channel, hit those super chats. We will answer every single super chat in here tonight, no matter what. We'll answer most of your other questions, but it will help me. If you're not super chatting, it's hard to pick them out of the chat unless you put question marks at the beginning. That always helps me. Dan's got better eyes than me. Hey, he's young. What do you?
I mean, that is the thing, though.
Yeah, it is what it is. The other thing that I would say is that if you want gear, if you want some new stuff, and I have something new coming this week. If you've seen the intro to Dan's new series and the whole intro,
so good.
I've got a brand new short coming for you that you guys wear around and support Dan and his work. It's going to be awesome.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
I love that dang thing. Now we got one for Seth. We've got one for you. I'm working on one for Gary. Eventually, I'll have to get one for myself. I just don't know what the heck it's going to be. So, folks, I guess you're just stuck with me for a while. But let's get into it. Lots of questions. I got about 15 stacked up already. We're going to start with Swag Boy. How are you? Last year, Casey got off to a rough start, I think, 2-4. I don't know. But this year, guys think that we will get rolling fast and start off rocky. Thoughts? Love the show. Thank you, Swags. I think 10 days is tough to have two opponents with premier quarterbacks, or at least quarterbacks that the league thinks are premier. Yeah. I'm still a little bit jury out on Murray. We'll see. That's a tough one, but it's about 4 days turnaround for the Chargers for me. Yeah, that is going to be a little rough.
Yeah, I'm a little interested. I mean, they're both going to get that turnover. I think that the Chiefs have a little bit of experience now with that starting slow. They've done it a few times, maybe still winning some of those games a few years ago, but last year they really did struggle. And I think that just the sheer intensity on the defensive side, the speed can help kickstart them a little bit when they're starting off slow. I think that's something we're going to see this year that we haven't seen in the past. And I'm excited to see how they're able to adapt it to this year specifically. But I do think that they have now some experience starting slow, so maybe they figure out how to counteract it.
I'm with you. I hope that that's the way that it goes. I can see them being 4-1. I'm sorry, 3-1 at the quarter point. Yeah. That's what I'm going to focus on for now, folks, until we have reason not to. Again, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe right now. Hit that sub button. Hit the bell so you know what comes next. And if you're digging this, whether it's now or in the minute, we could use a thumbs up. Everybody loves one of those. And the algorithm really likes us when we do that. We are shooting for 35,000, 40,000 subs this year. We want you to be one of them if you're not already. And our favorite Len Dawson moment, for me, it's surrounding that old classic when they're talking about the Super Bowl year. And like, it was, if you look at the archive footage, I think it was before the 65 toss power trap commentary scene thing that was captured, where he's like, hey, we're going to have to take it to him. We're going to have to run power. And Len's just like shaking his head like, I don't want to do that, you know, but he was team captain. He was playing along. He was going to get it done. That's probably one of my favorite moments.
I'm not a huge, I don't know a whole lot about the beginning of the Chiefs, but what I will say is how Len played the game. Like, he was a quarterback out of his era, in my opinion. He wanted to be the guy that was throwing the ball all around. And this was, early on. So you didn't really see that a whole lot. So he did have to tame it down a little bit. But I like seeing the highlights, and I like seeing some of the games of him just being like, look, I can do this. Let me do it. So I guess I'll just say that him trying to be more ahead of his time, it was always pretty fun to watch.
I want to say hi to Scotty, Gary, Holly, Jeremy, a bunch of our diehard fans. Chris everybody? Weeks is here. Thomas is here. Night Hunter's here.
Loving it.
Daryl. Woo, a lot of people. Okay. And say hi to Aaron Marr, our fearless mod. He's in the house tonight. Thank you for doing what you do, Aaron. I hope that the night thing is working out as well as it possibly can. I know how that gets rough. I have done that myself. Got another series of questions here. Dan's going to take this next one while I stack us up.
Thank you. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it. Who does Dan hope? Most hope his arch rivals pick in the first round of fantasy drafts. I want everybody to pick Najee Harris. Please come up, get Najee. Just do it. I don't want anything to do with Najee in the first round this year. I don't think he's going to get any of the targets that he got from Big Ben last year, specifically because Mitch Trubisky isn't going to check it down. He's going to run the ball. He is not going to check the ball down. And I just overall think that they want to get Jalen Warren more involved, a speed element to the running back. I think they're going to dial back Najee Harris's workload from nearly 400 touches last year. He's not getting that this year, and he was just barely in the top 10 of fantasy finishes. So please, everybody, go take Najee Harris in the first round. I don't want none.
Scott, that was great, and you asked the right guy. Why is the Chiefs team going to produce like 67-70 Chiefs team when it won it all and had like 61 or 71 Chiefs team that lost to Miami? Why? I don't know. I have trouble seeing it produced only because the game is so much different. But I do feel like it's going to be chip on the shoulder time. Like that's kind of what I was trying to put on the thumbnail tonight, folks. Like get off to a hot start, jumpstart this thing, because everybody says you can't do it. And that's what it feels like Patrick's going to be in. So I kind of feel like that's the way it's going to go. And because there's all those weapons and all those things you can fall back on, I do feel like it's going to get off to a start that's going to be hotter than maybe most national talking heads actually feel.
Yeah, I think most people think the adjustment process, because they dealt with turnover last year and then sneakily figured it out. I feel like people just kind of overlooked the fact that they figured out how to move the ball on offense, and Patrick kind of figured out everything. So I'm excited about that. Patrick's been seeing a ton of stuff this offseason, just so much, like not even like direct shade. It's kind of more indirect at Patrick Mahomes. And as we know, he's petty. He keeps a list. He knows what's going on. So I'm excited to see what he comes out. The first touchdown he scores, he counts to 8 on his hands. I'm waiting. I am waiting.
I'd like to see him just start swapping jerseys every year. So like he wore 8 this year. That's what I'd like to see. You know what I mean? I think that'd be hilarious. Awesome. Who are you more excited for, the offense or defense, Dan?
Honestly, I'm more excited to see the defense, because I think I know what the offense is going to look like. This is the youngest, it's the fastest, and the most athletic this defense has been in
ever,
forever, like a decade. That's what it is. Like, that's how long it's been since we've seen a defense that can actually fly around. So that's what I'm excited for.
I'm totally with you. I wish I could disagree, but I cannot. Thomas, what's up, Rogue Nation?
What up, Thomas?
I'll tell you what's up, guys. We have a new sponsor for this show, and I'm very excited to have them join us. I think that it's something, if I take the other comment off here, that you guys are actually going to enjoy too. That's what's kind of important, because I don't take on sponsors lightly. I do it so that they can help you, and the wait is finally over. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is officially live in Kansas in time for football. You can do it all: parlays, spreads, money lines, anything you want. The cool thing is they have a great deal for you, and we did change the code for those of you that had trouble. It is now RGR, just straight RGR, and you get the deal. And the
Easy.
opening week deal is right now. You bet $5 on anything, and you get $200 in free bets instantly, just like that. Super simple, straightforward. Thursday night's almost here, and opening night kickoff is going to be a lot of fun. Everyone can experience it now with DraftKings early win promotion. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use the promo code RGR. Super simple. You get $200 in free bets instantly just for laying on one $5 bet. Super easy. That's RGR, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook out there. And if you have a gambling problem, please get help at 1-800-522-4700, 21 or over. Physically present in Kansas. Eligibility restrictions will apply. Bonus is issued as free bets. One early win token issued as an opt-in. Moneyline bets only. Deposit and wagering restrictions do apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/Kansas. On behalf of Boot Hill Resort and Casino. Now that we have that out of the way, go support the folks that support us. We really do appreciate that. So that brings us to Jeremy's question. And I want you to take this one because I know there's a lot out there.
So this is probably one of my favorite topics because I do think that there's quite a lot of guys out there that don't get enough hype. But we've heard the hype for Pacheco, and once again, thank you, Jeremy, for the question. Regular, always asking great questions. We've heard the hype for the Pacheco and Karlaftis, but who's not getting the hype he should? Juju or MVS, maybe? No one has said a word about two guys on this team. Trent McDuffie, number one. He's come up. He hasn't been talked about, but I think people kind of forget how good he is because he hasn't been on the field a whole lot this preseason, which is exactly what you want from your starters. You don't want them on the field too much. You don't want them being involved a whole lot. And McCole Hardman, I always hear, well, the three receivers we're talking about are MVS, Juju, and Sky Moore. Everyone just kind of forgets that McCole Hardman's on the team and that he's going to be used a little bit more than he has been in the past couple of seasons. And I'm excited to see what he does, specifically because I do believe he can get to 1,000 yards this season if they use him properly. So those are two guys that I really think aren't getting enough hype.
I like the way that you're going, and I'm not going to disagree with you at all. The other thing I'm going to say is it's not that because they're young. Like I really think Willie Gay can accomplish his goals. I think he can be the best pass coverage linebacker in this league, and I'm here for it. I just need him to get off to a good start and show it. I think that will help. Steve Harold, what do you think are our new position coaches this year? I mean, there's not a ton of them, right? I mean, it's Dave Cullen on the defensive side. Everybody else pretty much moved around into different roles. I know they added somebody went from offensive quality control to assistant offensive line. I can't remember his name. I think honestly, not much gets past Cullen. I think you see it already in the preseason. The difference in the defensive line is taking in being aggressive and shooting gaps, and that's going to pay off.
Yeah, Cullen's going to make an impact. I think, like I said, we've already seen it, and I think that's going to be one of the huge differences from last year to this year.
Jeremy, lots of solid RGR folks in here. Glad to see you guys. I'm very happy for it. Hey, we got back there. DD, Trent McDuffie's stat line versus the Cards.
Oh, I love that.
You tell me what you think.
I mean, I think he's going to have a couple PBUs specifically because look at the receivers. You don't have a ton of big dudes. Like D-Hop's not there. I know AJ Green is, but I mean, AJ Green can't jump anymore. He's like kind of broken and frail.
The new movie from Wesley Snipes, AJ Green can't jump.
Not to mention, like, you have Marquise Brown, who's a fast guy, but Trent McDuffie's fast. He can keep up, and he doesn't have to worry so much about the long arm. So I think he's going to have 2 PBUs, but 3 tackles. I think we'll go 2 PBUs and 3 tackles. No interception in this one, but I think that's what we're working with.
Okay. I'm going to say he ends up with 6 tackles. Only 1 PBU because I think he's going to start a little bit, but I think he's going to get targeted a good bit because I don't think they want to go at L'Jarius. And I think if Rashad's out there, I think he's going to control Marquise at the line of scrimmage. Without Nuke, I think Brown's got to line up outside a little bit more. And I'm interested to see what they do. Andy Isabella's in there too. I don't think anybody scares me in this game going up against L'Jarius Sneed. It's all about does Rashad play or do you have to start 2 rookies? If you do that, then obviously I'd be a little bit more concerned about Williams.
Yep.
It is what it is. And not anything against Williams, just being a rookie, having a tougher start.
No.
Teak, how do we contain the Arizona QB? This is going to be a topic we talk about in the game plan.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's not going to look good at first because you got to power rush with extension and not look to dip the edge.
Yeah.
This is going to play into George Karlaftis' hands because for George, you just either pull long arm or hit 2-hand and extend and do what he does well. That's actually good because it doesn't get him overcommitted where he can be run out of the pocket high and leave a lane. And he doesn't get crashed inside where he can leave a lane for Murray to just scoot out. If that happens with Carlos Dunlap and Frank Clark, it's the linebackers that are going to be the key. It's going to be Willie Gay, in my opinion, that's going to be the key to containing Murray.
Yeah, I'll get into specifically what I think that they're going to and should do, but I do think the defensive ends being intelligent with your rushes and knowing the lanes and everything like that is going to be a huge thing, because as we've seen with bigger quarterbacks and faster quarterbacks, they're not always the best at being smart about the rush lanes and kind of forgetting that this guy can just take off and run. So that's going to be a very big, important part of this game.
I'm totally with you. Like, you got to rush smart. That's what it comes down to. Kyle, should we sign Chris Conley since he was released? 3 years ago, I'd say yes. I don't think he can beat out anybody that's on the roster right now. And I love Chris Conley, and you guys know that. I wish he was here 3 years ago when Patrick might actually throw it up. But that's a different argument.
I mean, he was, but they didn't do it properly. They did, like, take a time, get him in a time machine, okay? Just give me Chris Conley from like 4 years ago on this team today. Like, I'd be like, yeah, come on in. I'll just got a seat ready for you. Jump it all. You got 44-inch vert.
I could only wish. Red Royce, best Chiefs channel on YouTube world. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. And I know it's fun to do a lot of the hype things and get excited, and I think you all should. I got to talk X's and O's and how stuff works. It's going to be fine, and it's going to be useful. I guarantee it. We aren't going anywhere, despite what some of the big companies want to tell you. Are the Cards tight ends the biggest threat to the game without D-Hop? I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah. So I like Zach Ertz. Okay. He's not practicing right now, which we'll know more when we do the game plan video about his status. But right now he's not practicing.
Right.
Trey McBride, okay.
Someday.
He's a rookie. He's a
not
rookie.
Today.
Not now. He's got a whole adjustment period to go through.
Agreed.
To get comfortable. The running backs, I don't know, man. I don't want to give too much away, but I don't necessarily think that the tight ends are going to be the biggest threat in this game.
I like where your head's at. Tevin, thank you for the support. Appreciate you. Our first super chatter of the night. Just checking in. Love the content.
Appreciate
thank you, sir.
Tevin.
Peter Schrager on the Bolton train. Loving that. Could Saunders and Noddy battle it out this year, or is Noddy locked in there? I know they'll rotate, but could there be a challenge? I don't think so, only because this defense still treats first down as though it's a running down.
Mm-hmm.
We know it's not necessarily the truth anymore, but they still come out in that lineup. So I wouldn't get locked up and worried about who starts. Just worry about who plays more snaps. And I do think Saunders will eventually get to the point where he and Wharton are pretty even, and that might knock Noddy out of number 2 behind Chris Jones.
It's possible. I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think Noddy is low-key one of the best run defenders in the NFL, like bar none. And I don't think that Saunders this year can improve enough that he's going to all of a sudden become one of the best run defenders in the NFL. So I don't see it myself.
Okay. Fair enough. Tevin, thank you for the support. Appreciate you, dude.
Appreciate you, Tevin.
You too, Scotty. Very much appreciate you. Hi, Dan Buttonworks.
Scott.
Thank you. Keys is in the house as well. Glad to see it. Stevie Keys. You can see him on the Rogue Head Huddle. Don't forget that. It is because of all the lineup changes we're doing. It's going to be a little more outspoken, the huddle is. You're going to see that in the member section. Make sure you get signed up. And if you join at the rookie level or above, hit me at rgrpodcast@gmail.com, the email, so that I can get you into our select group of members, or the only people to get into that Discord where you can see it all super easy. Okay. That said, where did it go? Hit that thumbs up. Appreciate it, Scott. You're very, very right. I like the way that works.
It takes 2 seconds, and it really, really helps us out, guys. It really does.
It really does. Because the algorithm, the world of YouTube, loves thumbs up. They're corny, just like me. That's the way it works. Robert, thank you for this. How big of a loss is Tyrann Mathieu?
If the Chiefs didn't have Justin Reed, the loss would be pretty big. Because not only are we talking about a guy who covered up so many holes last year, and still there were holes that ended up being taken advantage of because of another specific player that will remain nameless.
Who's still on the roster with Tyrann Mathieu.
Just saying. You might see a couple of these this year again. You never know. He did so much lining up And having a leader like that in the room was a huge part to their early success. And honestly, I think mentally he may have checked out a little while before the season ended last year, and you kind of felt like that. But I think that the loss maybe would have actually, I tell you right now that the loss would have hurt way more if the Chiefs didn't get an athletic, fast, smart player like Justin Reed. His intelligence is the underspoken part of his game that people really kind of confuse, because it's hard to play safety at the level that these guys do in the NFL and to know everything. And because he played for the Texans, people are just like, oh, well, you weren't that good. No, Justin Reed knows what he's doing. And he is a very smart guy. So I personally think that maybe early on you see a couple of holes here and there, but they're going to figure everything out. And I think by early in that second month of the season, even earlier than that, you're going to start to see him really shine and be the guy that takes over.
I think, unfortunately, what you're going to see, and the reason that it's a slightly bigger loss than most feel, is it's not about the play itself on the field. They might miss him a little in the nickel when they want to do some of that funky stuff against 4 wideouts. But I think the biggest thing is the motivation.
Yeah.
The fact that he's been there, done that, and he demands performance from everyone, and they've been able to do that. Now, Justin Reed can be that leader too. But I'm just saying, like, when you have the gravitas of the Honey Badger, it's a little easier to elicit everybody's best.
I get that. That makes sense.
He's a force multiplier at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Even if his play in particular has fallen off. Andy sounded hype about the speed and range of the team today. I agree with you, Mo, and he should be, because especially on defense, Dan, we said it before we started.
Yep.
This might be the fastest season we've seen in a decade, maybe
ridiculous.
More. Darius, how are you,
what
man?
Up, Darius?
Which rookie needs to make the most noise during the early season stretch of the season? Needs to? Go.
George Karlaftis. This is kind of a coming out party, like, for the defensive line. I think everyone else is going to be relatively good. You have some starters. I think Chanel is going to be your Sam, but you're going to have some secondary members that are playing quite a bit of snaps and that should be able to manifest themselves within this defense pretty well. But defensive line, you're going to be asked to be better than they were last year. You have to get home, and I think that he needs to make the most noise and get home and get a couple tackles, some tackles for losses early in the season. One, to give him some confidence and to really help boost the overall mentality of that defensive line.
Right. I'm with you. I'm not going to be too concerned if it's a slower start for him, only because I feel like that will lull some teams to sleep. And then I hope that he can peak. Like, I'm excited for what they can do with him. I'm excited for the NASCAR. I got to tell you, I want Chris Jones and 3 rookies out there. So
I'd love it.
Mark, thank you. Do you think Pacheco will get a few running plays this week? I think they have to get him a couple of touches. If nothing else, than to guard CEH against being CEH and getting hurt. And that means you cannot use Jared McKinnon for those duties.
Yeah, no. You can't. Break glass, man. But I think you have to. The speed, I think that's the biggest difference here. Is Pacheco's going to bring youth and speed. Just get him on the field a couple times. Just get him the ball.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Great question about weaknesses. Now, Micah, we're going to go over this later in the week on the game plan video as well. That should be out Friday. But I will tell you this. When I take a look at their defensive roster, they just made a trade for Trayvon Mullen to put him at one of their corner spots outside.
Yep.
That's a glaring alarm. Come shoot at me right now. That's what that says to me. Now, Budda Baker's solid. Man. I know. Injuries suck. It is what it is. But you got Byron Murphy, who I think is very solid, and you got Budda Baker. I like Marcos Wilson's upside. I'm not sure if he's ready to get there. Mm-hmm. Like, they took him in the 4th, and that's about where I had him. Like, he does have good athleticism, but I don't know if he can put it all together, especially against guys that can run routes. Either McColl that can run away from him, or Juju and MVS that know how to run routes good enough to get away from him. So I don't see a lot there. But I tell you, the guy that I want them to attack is because they decided to take Isaiah Simmons, who's a great athlete, almost as good as Willie Gay, and they moved him inside. It's one thing to call him a will and let him run from the outside, but to put him inside in what is now a 3-4 for this team, I just don't see it working.
Yeah, I'm going to talk with Damon
please
on Wednesday about this, but you have Isaiah Simmons, your green dot. All I'm saying, Andy, you can confuse him. That's all I'm going to say. You can do it.
Yeah. I mean, he's just not used to being in that role. It's new for him. And I actually think it diminishes his ability to use his athleticism to its peak.
I'm with you.
It's just not wicked smart, and I like wicked smart.
It's not wicked.
Wicked. How can a healthy Jody Fortson take this offense to the next level? Easy. Tell him, Dan.
Oh, it's 13 personnel, baby. That's what this is. Because the 13 personnel you can run and you can spread everybody out because Jody can go get that football, as we've seen. It kind of unlocks the element in this offense that is different. Last year, they would just come out, trot out, and 3-by-1s. Travis, you're on by yourself, and everyone else is over there. They come out with 3 tight ends, and then they split them out. There's so many different things that you can force a defense to do. And when you have guys that can run routes and can be speed guys like Fortson and Kelsey, you have 3 linebackers on the field and 2 corners. That just gives you so many advantages.
This team can run 4 verts out of 13.
They can.
That's the thing. Like, you don't have to have Tyreek for that. You can have one burner in McCole Hardman. And I love the concept of what you just said. Like, you can line them all up in tight with 1 back and 1 wide receiver and go 4 wide. Yep. You can do anything you want. You could stack them up. You could run wishbone if you want to, folks. I'm just saying.
You can. You can do so many different things.
That's my favorite thing. And Jody unlocks that because not only that, and Jody has the jump ball ability that we've seen him do successfully. That's the other part. Night Hunter, if KC defense starts fast, how does it affect this rough schedule they have? It doesn't. It helps a little bit. Josh Allen is still going to score his points. The Bills are still going to be that tough opponent. Tom Brady's still savvy. I mean, his deal with the devil keeps him alive for the next century, so it should be fine. It's still about matchups that you can win, and if they start fast, I think that gives them confidence to take it to the next level, which even if they just knock 3 points off of each of those outcomes, that helps Patrick win the ball game.
That's all it is. It's trying to find ways to take one less offensive possession for the other team, cut 1 field goal away. That's what that speed can give you, and getting them a fast start can help with that confidence. Like you said, that's the most important thing of playing defense. Really, if you believe you can do it, you have the skill to get there. I think that really helps.
You guys are going to hear me do this a lot, and I emphasized it 2 seasons ago, and it was there, but it wasn't like the defining thing. It's about the number of drives. It's about the number of possessions in a given ball game. If you shift that one way in the Chiefs' direction, they win 13, 14 games. That's just the way that it is. Take Tom's. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate your question. I'm going to stack some more.
All right, Tom. Again, thank you very much. Great job, Brian. Dan. Well, thank you. We appreciate it. We try to do what we can every week to give you guys a great show. Team leaders in sacks and the number. So we got tackles in the number, interceptions in the number, and receptions in the number. What do you think? So I think the team leader in sacks is going to be Chris Jones. I believe he's going to have 14 sacks this year. Myself, I really do. The total in tackles is going to be Nick Bolton. That dude did it last year, basically.
122.
You think he's going to have that many this year? Or was that
122?
Yeah,
that's this year.
I think he goes 135 myself.
Ooh,
I think he can be that impactful. I think I've said it before. I do believe that McDuffie will lead them in interceptions with 6. And then receptions, I think, will be Juju at probably close to 87, 90. Well, actually, I guess Travis Kelce would lead them. I was thinking just wide receivers. Travis Kelce will lead them in receptions total. My bad. It was like 112. He's going to have a ton of receptions.
I hope so. I just hope he does it in less snaps.
Yeah.
Everybody say hi to Liz. Liz, hope you're doing well. Keep it up, lady, and thank you for being here. Both the family Morrow representatives are here as our admins, folks. Be nice and take heed, all ye who enter here. I just wanted to say that. Cheers. JT, if week 2 in the versus Chargers comes down to relying on MVS and McCole versus their CBs 2 and 3, Derwin and JC are going to descend, I guess, on doing decent on Kelsey and Juju. JC is still hurt right now, as far as I understand.
Yeah,
it's Michael Davis going to play for them. I like Michael Davis. When he was a free agent, I wanted him to come to Kansas City because I thought he was the next Breezy that could actually run. So, I don't discount him, but the Chiefs can beat him. MVS, Juju, all of them. So we're going to have to see who lines up. They do have some time to get JC back. I'm just not sure what the prognosis is, to tell you the truth, Jay. Julian, welcome back. Glad you made it.
What up, Julian?
Let's see. Chris Weeks, always good stuff from Chris. Dan, what Chiefs player is the fantasy sleeper this week?
I think the whole season is Clyde because the guy currently he's running back 27. Like, he's being taken as the 27th running back behind now Dameon Pierce in a bad offense in Houston. You can't tell me that makes any kind of sense. He's a rookie. I love Dameon Pierce. Don't get me wrong, but he's a rookie. on a bad offense, not a great offensive line. Clyde is going to get the bulk of the work in Kansas City. I truly believe that he will, and I think that he's a sleeper right now.
I can get behind that. Most overrated, underrated team right now. You take over. I got an under.
The most overrated team is I personally, it's almost every year people overrate the Chargers, and I think they're going to be really good. But when have they put it together? Like the last time they were in the playoffs was a decade ago. Like the Chargers continuously have these people that come out and support them and say that they're going to win the division every single year. The Chiefs have won 6 straight divisions. Like this is not something that they've been able to do. And so until they put it together, they're going to continue to be the overrated team.
Okay, fair enough. Underrated is Carolina Panthers for me.
Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy.
I love that. I love it.
I'm not a big Baker fan. Never have been. But I think a pissed off Baker with a couple of new weapons, and I like that they went and got Chenault.
Yeah.
Chenault gives you insurance getting CMC getting hurt like he always does. And then you can still run some things out of the backfield that might be a little bit different. I think it comes down to Rule and his staff. They got it's all stops are pulled. It is all gas this year because they have to or they're fired. I'm pumped on that one.
I love it.
Everybody's trying to nail down Mahomes' top wide receivers. Their chance that Scudmore becomes the top target by season's end. In terms of number of targets, no. He might give you total yards though.
I don't know. Until a rookie does that, like in Andy Reid's offense, I tend to believe it's not going to happen. He's obviously talented enough to do it. I just don't believe that Andy Reid likes to have it happen. I don't know. It feels like he's got something against rookies in terms of getting them on the field a ton and making them like the guy. So until that happens, I'm going to say no.
Okay, fair enough. I can live with that. Gina, hope you're doing well. Congrats going to the Cards game. That's awesome. We'll be in the matchup to watch. Kelsey going to ball out, right? I don't know. I think they're going to give Kelsey a lot of attention off the bat.
Yeah, but he certainly could. Like early on, if they give him a ton of attention, and then you got Juju and McCole and MVS kind of gashing them, they're going to have to do something different. Yeah. And I think that that's ultimately what this comes down to. We've talked about it all offseason. You start to hurt defenses with new players and other players outside of Kelsey, they will have to adapt. They won't have a choice. They won't. So that's what it's going to come down to.
I fear, and fear is the wrong word because that'd be from the Cardinals' point of view. I hope that they try to match up Simmons on Kelsey one-on-one. Because that is Travis Kelsey all damn day. And twice on whatever day they're playing. Miss Holly, thank you for the support. Appreciate you. Wish me luck. I'm doing my first ever fantasy draft.
There you go.
And I have no idea what I'm doing. Any quick pointers for a newbie? Well, first we need to know what type it is. But if it's a standard PPR league, don't draft any Chiefs. Not until like the 10th round or later.
You're not going to want to get those guys early because we don't really know how this is going to shake out. And Mahomes might just be the guy like to have in fantasy this year. That's very possible. So again, if there's PPR, make sure you get some reception players, like guys that are going to get those volumes. Like they used to have the Edelmans, those kind of players. Like Jacoby Myers in New England is a good example of that. He's a PPR guy. Things like that. Even Cooper Kupp before last year was a PPR guy. So those are the guys you guys are looking for in a standard. I'll get guys to have that touchdown equity. Lots of touchdowns in those red zone work. Things like Derrick Henry, players like Derrick Henry, Najee Harris to an extent because his value is less in PPR. It's better in standard. So things like that. You want to get those touchdown upside guys for standards.
Dan may disagree with me. He's the expert on fantasy, not me. But I will tell you, one of my sleepers that I like at the wide receiver position is Alec Pierce because of the volume he's going to have to take on, being that it's just Michael Pittman and a bunch of dudes who get hurt every 5 seconds. You don't think so?
I mean, I don't think he's going to do enough this year to make a dent in your lineup.
Okay, fair enough.
That's my
Dan knows fantasy, not me. Do you think CH is going to have 1,000-yard season?
Yes, I do.
From scrimmage, yes. I don't know if he's going to have it on the ground, though. Do you?
It's going to depend. I need to see how Andy Reid treats the offense, honestly, because the way that they ran the ball his rookie season, if they go lean into that, he will have 1,000 yards. I have zero doubt in my mind. He'll go, especially if they do what they did in the preseason and run more of the 2019 LSU offense with the inside zone, all of those power runs inside, the duo that they were running in the preseason. They do that. Clyde can easily get to 1,000 this year on the ground, but it's all going to be game script dependent how Indy wants to use the run game and those concepts.
Fair enough. Swag boy, imagine Dolphins versus KC in the postseason at Arrowhead. Would you want to see that? As an opening round, sure, because
Yeah,
they
it'd be
don't scare
fun.
me in the least.
That'd be fun.
Who else knows how to stop Tyreek more than somebody that had him stopped last season?
I mean, and you also want to play Tua in the cold? I'm okay playing Tua
Good
in
luck
the
with-
cold.
yeah, come on down. This ain't Tuscaloosa, buddy. Do you think we have the personnel in the secondary to keep the rest of the AFC West receivers to keep up with them? It's going to be a challenge. If they have to start two, I'm nervous. It's two rookies, that is. If Joshua Williams has to start games off the get-go, I am nervous.
Yeah, it's it can get scary kind of quick in the secondary because it is so young, and again, you have to hope that health stays with you. It's going to be a fun challenge. I think that Devontae Adams is obviously the guy that we're talking about specifically, but again, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams are a good duo. I don't think they're an elite duo. I personally think Mike Williams is still okay, but they don't have speed there at that position, so that's something. And then you have, I think, the Broncos can be the biggest test in the three receiver sets that they have. It can be. I don't know that they will be.
You're seeing Hamler as their third, yes?
I am, yes.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you. He's a guy that has not attained what I thought he would to this point. And if he breaks out, it's going to be tough. Thank you, Mr. Phil. Thoughts on win total predictions in the media and the net dropping for Raiders and Broncos decreasing as the season gets older? Do you agree? Gets closer. I mean, we've agreed the whole time. We both had the Chargers as the only team that's really going to be close to the Chiefs, and that the Broncos are likely the ones behind them. I had the Raiders last since the beginning.
Yeah, I think we all have. Yeah,
okay.
I think that their defense is clearly the worst in the division. Like, and their offensive line just keeps getting even worse than it was.
I mean, they've traded a first, a second, and a third round pick away this preseason. It's ridiculous. Or just cut them outright. I can't even say it out loud.
So many things.
What's the level of concern that we lose on Sunday? A 2.
I'd go as far as say 1. Like, I'm pretty confident right now.
I like it. Thank you, Quinn. Thank you, Papa. Appreciate your support. CFB is back. Jared Verse for FSU is a better pass rusher, more athletic than Jermaine Johnson. Who impressed you this weekend if you watched any CFB? I watched a little bit. I was away, but Anthony Richardson surprised me. I'll tell you that. Like, I thought he'd be okay, but I didn't have him. Some of the ball fakes and the things he was able to do, not with his legs, stood out to me as progression.
Man, Anthony Richardson's a dude. That guy is going to push. He's going to push Bryce Young. Yeah, like that. He's fun to watch. If you guys get a chance to watch any Florida games this year, they might not be the best team in the world, but Anthony Richardson could put some fun drives together. Surprised that Boutte was booty in his first game with LSU, but the offense, this is a lot like the Justin Ross situation last year. He's not playing through injury. Well, actually, he kind of is playing through injury. The offense is bad. The quarterback is bad. It's not good for him right now. So I was a little surprised. I know that it was the question was impressed, but I was impressed that he was so bad in his first game. He should have caught that touchdown, though. I'm a little upset he didn't. But yeah, that was surprising for me. Definitely Richardson up there, though.
Booty was booty. Yeah, I agree with you. I expect more, and evidently there's rumors he's seeking to go to the portal, and he's done.
I saw someone fake tweet about it, but
is that what that was? Okay,
yeah, that was just a fake tweet.
Okay, I've been in the car a lot today, so I wasn't sure, but I was like, off of one game, that's crazy. Thank you, Papa. Appreciate you, Julian. Will Kando, Wharton, or Karlaftis perform better with Cullen as the D-line coach? I think Wharton and Karlaftis definitely will. I think Kando's game is not predicated on power or something that he's got a long way to go on hand usage in general, but I don't know that Cullen's specialty is really going to help him as much.
Yeah, I would switch out Kando with Herring because I think Herring's going to play more, and I think that his hands are so good. I did not expect them to be as active and quick as they were this preseason. It was very impressive.
Yeah, and it's definitely better than this college film.
Yeah.
It's a great question though, Julian, and I hope that Kando can come along. I've been burned by him in the past. So let's just see what he can do. But I just think it's still a bit big for him. Mr. Phil, hope you're doing well. What do you think about Henny being able to move the team if Mahomes gets injured? God forbid. I think it's going to be better than it's been in the past because he can't get it to Tyreek when he's on those things, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's within striking distance of Chad Henne now. You know what I mean? Chad can throw a 20-yard ball. It's not a problem. So as long as they can get enough separation for him to feel comfortable pulling the trigger, I don't have a problem with it.
The player is more represented in Alex Smith-led offense now. Like, if we're being honest, that's kind of what we're seeing. Some big receivers. We got two speed guys, but MVS can still be used as a bigger receiver type guy. Juju's going to be over the middle, and Kelsey's there. So really, the transition to what Andy did with Alex is pretty seamless. He could just kind of implement it with these guys.
Yeah, it comes down to that. Spasborn. I've read that Hardman doesn't get to the spots Mahomes wants him to get to, which is why he isn't a target as much. Yet I see McColl open a lot. What's your opinion on that? It's not that it's to a spot. He's not reading in that situation where Mahomes is reading. It's not about being on the spot, or maybe he is finding an open space in the gap, but that's not what Mahomes is reading. You're not on the same page as your quarterback so he can deliver the ball. That's the issue.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, he had to get that. I think we're going to see a bit better chemistry this year than he has ever had. And I think that's why I think he can have a good year.
I have Bolton plus 10. Josh, I'll take the over.
Oh, yeah, over.
By a long shot?
I don't say a long shot, but he's got a really good opportunity for them to be longs. That boy get down the field in a hurry.
I'm just saying, double green dog, Chanel and Bolton, see who gets there first. I'm sold. Send everyone. Here, take Julian's. I'm going to grab our questions.
All right, man. What up, Julian? I have us starting 4-1, ending 12-5. Thoughts on the final record? If they start 4-1, I'm not entirely sure they don't finish with only 2 losses or 3 losses. I feel like the stretch in the beginning is what's going to keep them back a little bit early because it's so tough. I know they do have the Bengals and the Rams later, but I think those games specifically, they can win those games. Obviously, we'll talk about that when they get there. But I think this early stretch is where I'm seeing their record getting more to like 13-4 or 14-3 if they go 4-1 to start the season. That's where I'll be really excited. So 12-5 is where I currently have them myself. So I'm with you on the record.
Yeah. Hey, I have them at 13-4. I haven't come off of that. I'm not changing.
It's fair. It's fair.
We need Cook to help contain Kyler. Napoleon, you must have saw my video last night because I agree with you. It comes down to they don't want to go base against Kyler.
Yeah.
Even if they run out, I don't know who the third tight end is for them. Is it Ono? Or
I don't remember.
No, it's Max Williams. If they run out 3 tight ends, even if they were to do that, I don't think you want to be in base. I think you do want to be in the 3 safety dime because Cook can chase him down. Cook has enough speed to chase him down.
Mm-hmm.
Willie's very close. And so if you have them both surrounding Nick in the middle, you feel like at least from the hashes out, you can force him to the sidelines and keep him from breaking your back. He's going to get some yards, but he's not going to kill you. Mm-hmm. So I agree with you. They do need him, and I do think you'll see that. Great pod. Thank you, Micah. How does the offensive game plan changes if JC is out versus number 2? It doesn't. That's the nice thing about having 5 potential pass catchers on any given play. You can go away from what you need to go away from until you don't need to go away from it.
Yeah, I think that's going to change the Chargers game plan far more. That's going to change the Chiefs offensive game plan. They're going to still do and implement what they want to, regardless of who's out there. They try not to do that.
I think Staley's going to have trouble holding off. If they don't have JC, I think he gets blitz happy. I think he feels like he has to bring more pressure against Mahomes, which is obviously we all know the mistake that.
I don't know. He's a pretty smart guy. I think he knows Mahomes will kill him if he does.
I know, but he gets carried away with emotion. I don't trust him. I'm just saying. Robert, considering how he played last year, how big of a loss is Tyron? Okay, we got that earlier. Again, I think it is about motivation and holding guys to account and what he can do to help everybody else's level of play. Jaden, hope you're doing well, buddy. What's the first thing I should talk about on my podcast starting Friday? It's called the TPT podcast. I like that one on YouTube. Are you worried about the young CBs? I'm not worried about McDuffie. If Josh has to get thrown into the fire as week 1, which I hope Rashad Fenton is fine and he doesn't, it's going to be a little troublesome. He's got some vets out there. He's got some guys with speed.
A little bit. I think that he's. I don't know if Williams is the guy right now to be the first one off the bench. Personally, I think it might be Jalen Watson. I think it might be myself, but that's my own personal opinion. And Jaden, you talk about whatever you want to, man. That's the beauty of having a podcast. And if you want to talk about something, maybe you know a little bit more about, maybe some of the questions you ask us about some of our favorite quarterbacks. Like, go through your favorite quarterbacks from your watching football and for the Chiefs, or some of your favorite players. Start off with letting everyone get to know you. I think that's a really good way to go about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Get your personality out there. It works. It works for those of us who have personalities in the Chiefs niche.
We always
works
try.
For us. Works for Cole. The people who don't have personalities, it doesn't work so well for. So yeah,
it almost didn't work out for me.
Horn is yours. Little tight at first. It worked out. Do you think Shelton will progress enough this year to get any games from the practice squad? I do. I think he's just, no offense, he's a big dude. He's got to be in shape, and I don't think he was there.
No, I don't think it was close, and that's why he was out there for so long, honestly.
Yeah. Any potential backup tackles waived or released that you were bringing for a look? Nobody that I saw.
Not one person. There was only one guy I would have loved to bring in, and the Bears made sure that they got him. Because I didn't have Alex Leatherwood as a first-round pick, but I had him as a second-round pick. Yeah. I'll tell you what, in this offense with Andy Heck and this developmental group, you could have turned him into something.
Yeah, he was in the Walmart bargain bin. Grab him.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Oh, am I the only one that is happy I don't have to scream at my TV when I see Dan and Ben run on the field for third downs? It was terrible. It was slow. Super excited for the defense. I'm glad you are, King, and you're not alone.
Yeah, at the very least, you get to be happy that if they're going to make a mistake, they're going to make it fast. Like, that's good.
True. Spards, thank you for the support. Appreciate you. I would like to preemptively apologize for all of our offensive opponents this year. I'm kind of scared. Sorry, but not really, that our guys hit you so hard. I mean, I'm just going to tell you, my guy Cook is coming for heads this year, and he's going to get some. I'm going to make him little keychains that he can just dangle.
I'm willing to bet that Nick Bolton has the hardest hit of any Chief this year.
Oh, yeah? Oh, I like it. Hardest hit, I'm going Chanel. If CH gets hurt again, will KC not pick up his fifth year? I doubt that they can pick up the fifth year unless he goes for 1,000 yards on the ground and 1,500 combined. I don't think they can pick up his fifth year.
That's what it is. That the goal this year is 1,500 yards for him. If he stays healthy, like, that's it. He has to get to that point if he wants to get that fifth option picked up.
Lego, thoughts on picking up Wiggins? Wiggins is a safety from Cincy, was just released. I had him, I want to say, as a low third on my board.
You had him as third. I had him as a fourth. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And it was 2021. That is exactly the kind of reclamation project that Brett Veach loves, and I think he still has upside. He needs to get in the system that works for him. Mm-hmm. I say go for it.
I love bringing old teammates together too. Him and Brian Cook played at Cincinnati. Like, I love that kind of stuff.
Night Hunter, just because I know Ryan will love this one. One way to keep Murray contained is to run the ball. Night Hunter, you looked into my soul on that one. And I
speaking his language.
Right. I feel that one.
Maybe a couple right Michael now. Burton runs.
Hey. I might not live through the ball game if they do that. Thank you, Lego. I appreciate you. Andy said it doesn't know yet. I'm sorry, Night Hunter. That was a thank you to you. Lego's asking, doesn't know yet if 3 RBs. Who do y'all think will be? 3, I mean, I'm okay if they choose to bench McKinnon and just keep him safe and let Rojo get dinged up and contribute. I'm okay with that. I don't know if it'll work well, but I'm okay with it.
So my thing is, if they don't have McKinnon on the active roster, that means that Clyde is your third down back.
Right.
I don't necessarily think Pachenko is ready to do it. I think he's got the tools, but I think mentally he's not quite there yet. So that would mean they're pretty comfortable with Clyde on third down. And I don't have to tell you guys what I know about Clyde. So if they keep McKinnon on the sidelines and keep Rojo on, I don't know if that would be the most comfortable situation for them. So that's why I would say that Rojo's the guy that is the odd man out, because McKinnon, if you need a third down protected guy, he can come in and do that.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, folks, we're going to speed it up here.
Oh, we got real late, real early, didn't we?
Yeah. I fell behind. We talk a lot. So we're going to hit the rest of your topics in here, not necessarily everybody's question, but the topics that I've seen. And then all the super chatters, if you want your question read for sure, hit that super chat and we'll get you, honestly. And for those of you that want to lay some bets, again, our code is RGR. We changed it up just to make it a lot easier. You can always check that out too, especially if I get the comment on you right. It's the second time I did that tonight. Good Lord, I can't do anything right tonight. We'll take that. There we go. Okay. So if you do want to lay some money down, that always helps us. The sponsors love it when we get folks interested, and they help us when we help
Seriously,
them.
guys. I was in Kansas this weekend. I put a nice little parlay down. I'm excited. Like, I have the Chiefs covering the spread in that game, 4.5 against the Cardinals. I think I love that. So there's a couple fun spreads I got. So go make sure to check it out. It's a lot of fun to do it your first time.
Rock and roll. Starting the season in Arizona and ending the season in Arizona is a great season to have, right?
Oh, yes.
FLDB, I do believe you're right, Frankie. I like the way that you're thinking.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Over 40 sacks from the defensive line starters and backups in this full season.
Just the defensive line?
D-line.
Under.
I'm going to be optimistic and take the over by 1. I can't be unequivocal, Julian, but I hope that they can get there. Again, 4 rushing together hopefully can raise the bar for everybody. Big fan of Sky, but I'm also buying the Pickens hype. What makes Moore a better fit in the offense? And are we sure he isn't just JT's CEH situation again? Sky's fit is perfect because he does the things that nobody else can do that Tyreek used to do. And he doesn't have to be the speed demon over the top guy that Tyreek was as well. So you have 2 players doing similar things that makes it harder to cover them both.
So I think that Pickens does a lot. Don't take this the wrong way. He does a lot that MVS does. Okay. He is not the smoothest route runner. He's a much better release player than I think MVS is. And at the end of the day, he's more athletic. I think he's got more upside in that. But what they bring to the offense specifically is relatively similar. Okay. Sky is much more, I'm going to win immediately. He wins immediately. I think that's more of what they were looking for right now to help Mahomes, as well as continue to make these guys open available, is what they're going to need in this offense. So I think that it makes a little bit more sense to go to a guy who's got some speed. He's got the best hands in the class, and he wins immediately.
I like it. Daryl, thank you for the support, buddy. You've been a long time member here. Appreciate you a lot. Miss Liz, thank you. If you would give us the thumbs up, that always helps people out there. There are a lot of Chiefs fans that don't even know we exist because YouTube is so vast.
Yep.
That unless you get shown it right away,
it's a hellscape.
It's hard to find it. Hey, it's ever evolving. First bowl prediction of the year. Kalafdis gets a sack against mini-man Kyler Murray on Sunday. Bank on it. Kevin, I like the way you think, and I happen to think that you are going to be correct.
Chris Jones is going to just engulf it.
Mitts. Yep, I'm with you. Dockster is in. I'm thinking the coach is going to play on a vanilla offense against the Cards. Thoughts? I think he's got to spice it up a little bit, but
I think Andy's got a little chip on his shoulder too, though. Like, I think Andy wants to come out and be like, hey, guys, I've been working all off season too. It's not just Mahomes. I got some things to show you.
Remember when you said you could stop us?
Yeah,
right? Terry, thank you very much.
Thank you, Terry.
We couldn't do it without you and having folks to show it to. 500 folks in here tonight on a holiday
Thank
weekend.
you, guys.
Appreciate you very much. My alarm's going off. There's all kinds of stuff happening. So, hey, thank you. TPT. Oh, this is Jaden's new podcast. You guys check him out over there. And thank you for the support, Jaden, as you always have been. Big contributor around here. Appreciate you. Julian, next year, the 2023 draft, would you select RBs? If so, please look at TAMNU. Kane, I think is how you say that. Yep. Jay Gibbs from Bama. I'm with you on Gibbs already. And Deuce Vaughn and K-State are the ones I like. I'm with you. I have to say McIntosh looked pretty good to me, too.
I'm all in on Tank Bigsby. Dude.
Yeah, I saw your timeline. Tank
is my dude. 6 foot, dude. No, Tank. It's Tank for me.
I'm with you. Okay, I'm grabbing the last of our super chats here, folks. Trying to make sure I'm not missing anybody. And I think we covered that one. I covered that one. Okay, sweet, rock and roll. Tom, do you see anyone that could be unknown to make the playoffs this year and actually win 1 or 2 games. Still the Chiefs and the Bills as possible AFC Championship competitors. I will say this, unless you have something.
No,
hot, Dan.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I think, much to my chagrin, I feel like the Patriots might be able to grind out a wild card spot. I don't want it, but I think it could happen.
I don't disagree. Particularly, guys, if you're interested in the whole betting side, the Patriots open the season as 3-point underdogs against the Dolphins. That's an auto bet for me. But getting to guys that could possibly win some. I think Minnesota Vikings are a team that typically I think you don't necessarily see in the eye of the playoffs because of the Packers, and then you don't really have the record to make it there. But I think with the new offense that they're going to run, more of a McVayan type of offense, they're going to be a much more efficient offense. I think they might have a chance to actually win that division this year and win some playoff games.
That'd be cool. Tom, thank you for your support as always, buddy. Appreciate you. What will the score be this weekend? Mr. Phil wants to know from you, Dan.
All right, Mr. Phil. We have the game plan show.
Yes, the game plan does have our predictions in it, you guys.
It does. We are going to. It's not going to be a super long one, so I promise you don't have to wait long for it. But Mr. Big Phil, I promise you that let's just say there will be the Chiefs are going to at least score 5 touchdowns. I'll give you that much.
I like it. I like it. I will give you mine on Friday. I'm not quite that optimistic, but dang. I don't think CH will be the number 1 back after week 5. You could be right, Terry, but let's see what he's got. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's got a lot to prove, so hopefully he'll pull through. Caden, should I put Brandon Cooks or Devonta Smith as flex in my fantasy? Smith faces the Lions and Cook faces the Colts.
Brandon Cooks.
Okay. I got to tell you, in a whole, I would draft Smith over him.
I would not.
But I play dynasty, non-PPR kind of stuff, so that's why Dan's your expert here, folks.
Brandon Cooks is they remember the Texans have 4 receivers on their roster, and they just cut Chris Conley. Who's getting the ball? Who's getting the ball? Brandon Cooks can get like 20 targets in that game. Just fire up Brandon Cooks.
Jackie used to be Texans. You need my help. Call me. What kind of numbers do you think Watson will have this year? I'm going to say 24 receptions for 300 yards and 2 tutties.
Okay. I like it.
Okay. Good question there, Gare. Josh, I was really impressed with Hutchinson at Iowa State and Luther Burden from Mizzou as a rookie. Go ahead. I didn't watch either of those games.
Luther Burden, guys. Mizzou has. I hope they don't lose into the transfer portal. That's all I have to say. That dude is a bona fide stud. He's a stud.
Chad, I got that one. The last one. Any prospects to watch the Clemson versus VTech game today? There's a game today.
Yeah, they have one today.
Watch their DNs. Breeson, I can't remember the other guy's name. Something with a T for Clemson. G-Tech. I don't have any on my radar from there.
Oh, man. There's a defensive tackle, I think. Where's his name? I have it pulled up right here. Myron Murphy or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, from Miles Murphy. Miles Murphy, defensive end at a Clemson. He's one of my guys that I watched this game.
Mr. Big Phil, I do not think Josh Allen is overrated. I think he is nearly as good as Patrick. I think what his legs make up for and what his decision-making and pre-snap reads lack, but that is a 1-2 combination that I think is nearly as good as Patrick.
Yeah. Mahomes has got it more up here, and I think that talent, his arm is better. He's got better arm talent than Josh Allen does. But what he does with his Josh Allen is so fun to watch. Like, I love watching him play. Like, watching him in the AFC Championship games or the divisional game this past year, it was hurtful watching him do that to the defense, but also like appreciative. Like, I appreciate watching that kind of quarterback play.
Yeah, I'm with you. Big Jack, I saw your question. We just got to speed up here. Justin Ross is on IR for the year. He won't be able to practice, period.
Yeah.
He'll be in rehab most of the year anyway, so you don't have to worry about him getting poached. Gina, thank you for the support. What do you think about the opposing D's crowding the line of scrimmage more without Tyreek as a deep threat? Please, bring them all. I'll take this offensive line in a mugged up 6-man rush
Yeah.
any day of the week. Because if you're going to let all 4 of those pass catchers loose, good luck to you. It's going to be Yak City.
Loving it. Love it.
Tom, thank you. Did we ever see settle on a proper nickname for Mike Burton? I know that we batted around for a few days. What say you? I cannot remember what I ended up liking. Dang it. Mike, I know Mike had one that he liked, and now I cannot remember it for the life of me. I will try to recall that, you guys. I'll reach out to
the kielbasa myself, personally. You gotta stick with the meat stuff. I think it's great.
Yeah, I'm with you. Gina, yes, I saw your super chat. This is what happens when I talk too much. We fall behind, and it takes a while to get to them. So apologies. That's on me. Let's see. We got a few more we got to get to as well, you guys. So got Tom. Oh, Stevie Keys is here. Hey,
what
everybody.
Up, Stevie?
Check out Stevie and the Back Talk Bros. Go sub to their channel as well as Big Chief Sean's. A lot of our contributors have their own channels as well. And again, if you forgot, Jason Dunn's going to be with Marcus Dash here on RGR once a week this next season. So we're expanding a bit in a nice way that I'm excited about. If you're going to gamble on the Chiefs, make sure that you watch our RHH, that's Rogue Head Huddle episode, from the members this soon. So go get signed up, rookie or above, and you get into the members videos because it was Dan's show, right, Stevie? And so like there's a lot of information about what you want to do bet-wise on this show. And Stevie, thank you for the support as always. And last question, at least that I have right now, take Gary's and I'll clean up and make sure we didn't miss anything.
Man. Thank you again, Gary, for your question. Ryan, will Pacheco do well in the passing game?
I think he will when given the opportunity. I think he's solid enough. You tell me if I'm wrong, Dan. I think he's solid enough in the pass blocking situation that Dandy will let him play a little bit.
I think so too. Key. And he showed better hands than he ever showed in college. Like I think that was the biggest thing. He's always got the moves after the catch. He runs guys over too. So I think that he's going to be well in the passing game as long as they trust him enough to be on the field for some obvious maybe pass rush situations to get him in some of those pass blocking too.
I'm with you. Thank you, Gina. Appreciate everything for you. Every super chatter, every new member, thank you for being here
Appreciate
tonight.
You guys.
Hey, Labor Day weekend's over. Congrats, folks. I hope you had a great time. It means the season is here and we are on. We're going to be looking ahead. We're going to be looking at film. We're going to be looking at stats. We have tons coming for you. So watch out for the next couple of days. The schedule might be a little bit off. We'll see. But we have it ready, and I'm looking forward to these ball games. Thank you for being here and for all of your support, as always. If you're new or you're just finding us on replay, like, sub, hit the bell. That easy. That helps us help you, give you more stuff. So for Dan Harms, our resident fantasy expert, and for my dumb mug, thank you for being here. And we'll talk to you all week, starting tomorrow, about your Chiefs versus the Cardinals. Have a good one. We'll talk to you then.